Hi, it's David here with Future Trading. I'd like to welcome you to the channel. Thank you so much for stopping by. I got a lot of information I want to share with you guys. I actually want to answer a question for one of the subscribers here. I know I stated in the last video about the clothes being outside the clothes, and I don't want you to have to go and, try to get an understanding on your own about it. I'm going to make sure that I convey that information because that's what the community is all about, is ensuring that you can understand what's here. And again, I'm on the side of trying to ensure that your journey with trading is different than my own. All right. So I want to make sure that I'm being what I would want to see in the world. And I suggest many of you do the same. All right. So let me try to make sure I convey that to you in a way that's really simple. All right. I want to make sure I do that because I know the last video was kind of about some other stuff, but here's the support. Thank you so much for your continued support here on the channel. Again, I was going to make that my last video, but we're trying to just stay within 1% of the subscribers. All right, I have an audience. I want to ensure that you guys are retaining the information and that you're there. So thank you so much for doing that. Here's the live threshold, how far the bar will pull back before it resumes. The price action trend, you just need to be able to count to 10. The price action method, I use the majority principle, which state that the minority is compelled to follow. There's three different ways they show up, and I'll show you that on the chart. The universal chart scale, I'll teach you how to use that hard right edge and know that the market can become cyclical in front of you. If you need more education, I do provide that. If not with me, I do suggest you seek out education. Don't stop at free. Whatever you do, that's not ensuring that your business will succeed if you're filing taxes with this information. And if you're not doing that already, hopefully the information on the channel will get you there. You can get access to those videos as well as the indicator. I give it to you for half off. It works on the free version of Ninja Trader. All right. So I do suggest you further your education. If it's not with me, it's totally fine. Just make sure that you do so. It's the professional thing to do to get as much knowledge as you possibly can about what it is that you plan to do in the markets. All right. I want to just say that the channel is not about this stuff here. I want to make sure that you guys know that. All right. So before we get into all of that, let me show you your time ranges. So if you're in the market wanting to trade ranges, I have that for you. I'm just going to show you a couple days. I'm not going to be before you long. So let me just scroll through this just a little bit for you. All right. So pay attention to the ranges as well as the chart scale. All right. The market can turn on the hard right edge. You do not have to look left. You're just trying to stay above the center of the range or below the center of the range. All right. And you can kind of combine all of that together, and I'll scroll forward and let you see how all of this sometimes just come together really well. All right. So if you're above the center or the upper part, you're bullish. And if you come below, yes, you can begin to become bearish. All right. It's just that simple. It's not complicated. And you can combine the ranges with that information there. This chart scale is provided to those that do purchase the indicator suite, as well as the access to the videos. And there's another scale that I do provide as well that has a little bit more additional information attached to it. All right, so I'm gonna just scroll this through and we're gonna just take a look at these ranges as well as that chart scale. It won't be before you long. All right, so I think we're coming up on yesterday's activity as well. We had a little surge there. Yeah, all right, so yeah, this is them yesterday, I believe. Let's see. No, not quite yet. Okay, there it is, that drop down. Yeah, them guys was doing some really big moves to the downside there. I hope you guys wasn't taken by that. And then, of course, this is overnight, them wanting to come back up. And, of course, this is where we're at today. Kind of hung out beneath the center of the chart until this morning in the news. And this is where we're at currently. All right. So, again, those are the range times. You're welcome to them. And, of course, any of the information that's on the channel, please take full advantage of it. All right. Now, when it comes to the close, outside the close that I referred to, let me talk about the majority really quick, and then I'm gonna do that. All right. So the thing that we're looking for, let me see, can I find quite a few of them here for you? This had all the components here. All right. So we just want a big wick, that's bigger than this one. We want that body to fit in there twice, and then we want the mid to be above the high. That's all three things: big wick, little wick, small body fitting into this body twice, and then of course the mid above that high. Those are all three components. So we had it here. All right, we had it here. I do believe they get ready to drop down just a bit, so they may come through this. Okay, unless they can rip right back to the upside, I think they're going to fall through this. Let's go find something else. All right, let's go find us a couple more. You have one here. All right, so let's just put, I don't think that they'll get this far, but I just put that there. All right, and let's see, can we find us just one more? Yeah, they would need to get to it right away, or otherwise we're going to come back down. And we had one here that had all three. And again, it's big wick, little wick. We want this wick to be bigger than that wick. We want that body to fit in there twice, and we want the mid to be above the high. It's just that simple. All right. Find that on the chart. We had one here, so that's fantastic. They came back in with it. They came back in with it. All right. So let's see if we can sustain here. But if not, yes, they'll come back. All right. So they had another one come in. All right. So they had this one here. Try to find all three if you can. Try to anyway, if you can. So yes, we had them all here. Now, the close outside the close that I was referring to, I want to say to you, it's the live candle. So it's the live current candle price that's important. We're gonna bring the 1 minute back in screen. Let's do that right now because it may be a little bit more advantageous to have this happen uh, against a smaller candle. All right, this won't take long. I want to make sure I can explain this to you. The smaller the body of the candle or the larger the time frame, okay, your odds of getting that to work for you is really high. All right, so I'm gonna use this time frame, but I know it's a bit faster, and so your reaction time would have to be really there. I mean, you'll have to really practice that. All right, but with something as small as this and the amount of time that we're spending beneath this close, unless it's going to immediately snap back, we're coming down. All right. And I do think we'll come under that. Okay. I think that we can pull that off unless it's get ready to snap back. Now I don't have the threshold on this chart. I don't have it. I can just visually kind of throw it in there to give you an eye as to what that looks like. It's roughly, let's say roughly right in there. All right, give or take. So the amount of time that this candle is trading will award you an opportunity to get a trade. All right. Now we're talking maybe 10 ticks, 20 ticks or below this pivot. Because of the body being small, there's two rules that I want you to kind of go with. It's the body being smaller or your time frame being larger. All right. So if your time frame is larger, you still kind of want to have the body being smaller mixed into it. All right. You still want to, try to keep that in mind too. But because the time frame is larger, you're going to get a bit more ebbs and flows. All right. So it's going to kind of go up and down a bit more, which will give you an opportunity to keep the momentum on your side. Because I said momentarily, the momentum may not be there for you. It's not to say that the market can't go higher. I wholeheartedly believe that that's a possibility. However, with the amount of time that we were spending beneath that bar's close, I knew that there is a chance that we would just move down even further to become that bearish bar. I still think that there's a chance they may come down here. If they don't go ahead and pick up speed, they may even break this high, but I think they'll end up down here. I do. All right, so that's primarily what I want you to focus on when I'm speaking of the close outside the close because the bar has to close. It must close. It can't stay, live the whole time. And so that's why I say close outside the close because this bar will close. All right. But the live candle, this current price remaining beneath this bar's close is not momentum being on your side. Me providing the threshold of the bar is to help you better position yourself for the momentum to shift and hopefully get back on your side. That's really what I would want for you. But I don't want you to be in a trade expecting it to do something that it's currently proving that is not possible. All right. I hope that makes sense. All right. So at the moment of it being beneath, well, this is a doji. It, I hate dojis. I just must say that I hate doji. But at the moment of it being beneath the close, now this bar is smaller. All right, so this is smaller. So this is a good thing. If we can begin to stay above that close, and I did tell you, I think they'll blow this if they don't hurry up. They need to hurry up and go back up, or we're coming back through that low. Now, because of the amount of time, we need to hurry up and turn around if that's going to work if we're going higher. The amount of time that they're spending beneath this close, it's likely that this bar can begin to turn red. Right? It can just stay red. But the smaller the bar, the better your chances of you being able to get a fill. That's all. The smaller the bar, the better your chances to getting, the market to fill your order. That's all. And so that's where you will want to ensure that the close is outside the close because the bar must close. And we're getting another small bar. This should be a smaller bar. I don't. Yeah. Well, it increased in size a little bit. Again, I did tell you they need to hurry up and get back to it if they don't want to fall under here. So that's what I was referring to. Now let's just look at this for a moment. Again, I don't want to be before you long. We only have two components here. They're responding to it. Um, this is the threshold here. I'll read it to you just a bit more. Again, I don't want to be before you long. Let's see what we got. Again, majority is on this one because the mid is above the high. Okay, the mid is above the high. And so what does that mean? A reasonable target if they're going to make it, without going through the back of the bar will be here. All right. Got to make trading simple. Don't make it hard. Don't make it complicated. But that's what I was see a smaller body. Small. We don't want to be trying to. I wouldn't say go long, but this is a smaller body, and we're already racing past the body. So it's kind of easy, if you will. Maybe not on this time frame because it's 15 seconds. All right. You got to kind of keep that in mind. Maybe something a little bit bigger, but because the body is smaller and we were spending most of the time away from that bar's close, it's very likely that bar will end red. And so it's very likely to get a small trade of, let's say, well, and it's a 5 second, let's say, I mean 15 second, let's say 5 ticks, something small, something small, nothing too big. And again, that's all you're looking for. So I hope that makes more sense, that you will want to make sure that the momentum is on your side. And typically when you have the closed, well, the current price, okay, the current price operating in the direction that's not favorable. Okay, so if it's not favorable for you, the momentum, okay, it made it. The momentum currently at that moment is not on your side. All right, it's not to say that it can't shift and change and go back to that. And that's why I try to give you guys the threshold so you can have an idea of where that needs to take place. You want to do this up against smaller bodies, or you want to have a larger time frame. All right, so it's going to be one or the other. If you're trying to get a field that has the momentum on your side, make sure you see, okay, they may want to come back down here unless they're going to turn this around right now. They're going to try to reach back down here. You're going to want to make sure that that momentum is favorable. So try to pair it up against something that's smaller, because you want to make sure that the time spent can be spent in the direction that you would want it to go in. All right. So I hope that serves useful and beneficial to you. And definitely keep at it. Keep at it for the chart scale. Keep reading that. The majority practice this stuff. It's not, trust me, it's not as hard as you think it is. That's the whole purpose of the channel, is to ensure that you guys have an experience that makes sense. All right. And I'm trying to do my best to help you guys have that. All right. I wish you all the best with your trading. Take care.